let's get to this final topic, and let's talk a little bit about our top draft pick, Travis Hunter, University of Colorado Buffaloes, wide receiver, cornerback, two-way player, all world, in my opinion. The kid has just got mad skill. I mean, I ain't gonna even question the fact he actually left Jackson State to go to Colorado with Coach Prime. And let me give you a little bit of history into Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter was a 5-star blue chipper plus coming out of high school in Swanee, Georgia. Every school in the nation wanted Travis Hunter. Nick Saban wanted Travis Hunter. Florida State wanted Travis Hunter. Miami wanted Travis. He could have went to any school in the country, Division I school he wanted to go to. However, Prime was able to go there and sit on his couch and with his parents and convince him to come to Jackson State. The rest is history, gentlemen. The rest is history, because he went to Jackson State and he was able to play at Jackson State. And then when Coach Prime got offered the Colorado job, look, he was one of them Louis Vuittons that Coach Prime told those players at Colorado who was from that 1-13 team, look, I'm bringing my Louis with me, baby. I'm going to give you guys a chance to go into the portal if you want to now. If you want to stay here and grow into something that's successful, you can be here. We don't mind you being here. But I'm going to bring my Louis, and his Louis were Shador, Shiloh, Travis Hunter. Those were his Louis Vuitton. He had 3 luggage cases, which were his Louis Vuitton. So Travis Hunter,
all of them in the same draft.
Exactly. Travis Hunter was exceptional. That's the best word I could put to this young man. He was exceptional. He was undersized, however, but he made up that size with how well he thought. His football intelligence, I would say, played 70% of his ability to be able to compete at the level that he competed as, because he played both sides of the ball. So he knew what a wide receiver more likely was going to do when he was on the defensive side. When he was on the offensive side, he knew some of the things that the defender might try to do when he was actually going up against a defender. So, long story short, he was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, number 2 pick out of the 2025 NFL draft. Well, the Jacksonville made an extraordinary pick. I thought he was the right person for them to pick, to be there with Trevor Lawrence, because Trevor Lawrence is a pretty good quarterback, especially if he has the weapons to throw to. Looks like this past weekend, Travis Hunter has made news again, and he has just gotten married to Liana Lani in a lavish ceremony. And he basically presented her with a 6-figure gift at the wedding. Now, let me just say this. I'm happy for Travis Hunter. Congratulations. That's all I'll say. However, I want to start asking Isaiah, what do you think? Do you think this was a good decision for him to get married this early at 22 years of age?
Well, I can tell what's going on in the mind of a person, man. Love, he's crazy in love, man. That dude knows it's wide as the Atlantic Ocean, man. He's crazy about this one.
Why is his smile is?
Oh my God.
What's the old saying? His nose is wide open.
It is, and the thing is, I just wish him well. I just hope he don't get taken to the cleaners, because allegedly he don't have a prenuptial agreement.
He doesn't have, according to these news clippings, he doesn't.
No. He just signed his contract over to her if anything happens after that. But you know, if everything all goes well, it was beautiful for him to make a decision like that.
Absolutely.
And you know one thing, man, I'm gonna tell you something. I admire Prime, man, because Prime was a guy who mentored him. He's been through several divorces himself, so he knows how the game works. But he never pressured this guy to leave her alone, because remember that song? He'll turn his back on his best friend if he put her down. So Prime ain't saying he left him alone, man, because you go in there and antagonize this guy about his girlfriend, then he gonna turn you off. He'll cut you off, man. Everything you say to him, he won't listen to you no more. So he gonna have to take this thing on the chin himself if things go south. I just wish him well, man, because the guy is freaking old. I mean, the Cedar wedding, it was lavish, it was beautiful, it was elegant, it was nice. They had their friends and family and ladies there, and he was dancing his rear end off like he was dancing with the stars, man, on these segments that I seen.
Smiling, just smiling.
Man, so I just wish him well, man, and there needs to be more of these young kids out here making commitment to women because most of them don't want to do no
Commitment instead of just form an opinion and make babies as it. Yeah.
Well, it looks as though here, according to some of the news that I've been reading, that Prime didn't even attend a wedding. So that speaks volumes. Wouldn't you say that speaks volumes, Najee?
Prime their own door, so neither one I can see.
Yeah, so they might don't co-sign with it, but they don't also want to tell that man where his heart should be. So
and you shouldn't be telling him where his heart should be. He has every right to fall in love who he prefers to fall in love with. I don't have any issue with that. I wish him well also, because I want success for young African American men. For him to start a family, for him to have, maybe if he has decided, him and her had decided to have kids, raise your kids, raise your family, and bring your family up to generational wealth levels where it's just unlike ever before for his family, because where he comes from and where he is now is like, night and day, if you think about it. But however, I think that not having, and if these allegations are true by him not having a prenuptial agreement, that to me is a equivalent of driving your car without insurance, and you're in traffic every day. That's just the example that I would use. You are driving around with no insurance, and people are swiping at you and tailgating you, and then once you get hit, guess what? You don't have insurance. Who's going to fix your car? Or who's going to pay your medical bills if you decide to go to the hospital? That's the only issue that I see. That I don't know what type of advice or because did someone try to talk to him? There could have been. There could have been. Yeah. I mean, you protect yourself.
Said, leave that girl alone.
Yeah. So if you think about the whole bigger picture of it, it might work out, and I hope it work out for his sake. But man, you still should have something as a backup mechanism. He's getting ready to sign a $46 million contract.
That was guaranteed.
He got the bag already.
Yeah.
He was rich already before he, got married.
Yeah, because he was making money. He was making money in college.
NIL. Yeah. So it looks like here, I have a question for you, Isaiah. Basically, at 22, is there a significant commitment in this relationship? Would you think, from your side of it, that he should have gotten from her and she should have gotten from him to kind of reinforce the fact that they will be together? Does that make sense?
Well, that prenup would have did that. The prenup would have solidified everything when you talking about coming into this kind of money, and just to reassure you that you ain't gonna just drop a couple babies and be going on your way. It would have done that, man, but he should have really got some professional help to guide him through this thing. And if it goes south, he's just gonna be taken. So, and he should be well aware of this. Like, she definitely. I've seen people come online and tell their own personal stories about having a relationship and it didn't work out. All you gotta do is just go over on the West Coast where you are, DC, and listen to Tyre Reese speaking
You're talking about the vocalist singer Tyrese Gibson. Yeah. Right. Well, he'd be a perfect lecturer I mean, if Tyrese were to go talk to young men and youngsters on how to lecture them about what to look out for in the pitfalls of any type of relationship, whether it's just a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship or whether it's a marriage or whatever the case may be, Tyrese would be really good at that, because some of the things that I've seen him say publicly, it just seemed like he's very, very upset, and he was so passionate, and he thought that woman loved him, but I guess, you know, he just looked, he just didn't see the light.
He just love what he provides, that's all.
Yeah, he's absolutely crazy about his daughter too, man. And I think, if you know, according to some stories that I read of late, he's secured his daughter now. He's got custody of his daughter.
She live with him now, so that means he just got off child support.
Yeah.
So, question for you, Najee, is there's been a lot of public scrutiny, of course, because you know people from both sides are going to have their opinions of this, just like we just expressed our opinions. Let's just say that it works out, and I'm hoping that it will. It'll shut up all the naysayers, right? Even though him and her are fairly young. Him and her is fairly young.
So,
and it's
so what window are we talking about? That's the difference.
And it's sustained the endurance of him playing football, traveling, all of the possible pitfalls that he's going to be facing, and when he goes to different cities, if you know what I mean. I mean, how is he going to be able to deal with that? Will he be able to sustain as well that relationship? Is it sustainable?
To me, I don't know. I just don't think so. Not only they're just too young, that they have that stigma between them two, that it's gonna be like a countdown almost to like when things gonna hit the fan, when they gonna show her true colors, or how long is she really gonna do this. They probably gonna track her spending, or what she does while he's playing. Is she gonna attend any of his games? Like, bro, it's gonna be a whole bunch. They gonna be under, as long as his name is up there, and then they actually follow him. They're gonna follow her. She might even have her own little podcast or show or something, just because she's attached to him. It's gonna be, as long as his name is up there, they're gonna be talking about it. That's what it is gonna be. Like how Reggie Bush is when he was with Kim Kardashian and all that. They're gonna continue talking about it until he fades away. Now, you know what I mean, bro, you said they were 22, 23 years old. You know how long they gonna not stop talking about that? When you talking about making babies, because eventually, you know, they probably gonna want one. Then you talking about just them always being in the spotlight. They gonna be going to any events, award shows, or anything. It's gonna be a good minute, bro. So you see how they talking about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. They've been together for about 2-3 years now. They continue talking about them, and they ain't nothing but just boyfriend and girlfriend. They ain't married. They ain't married at all. And they both in their mid-30s. They both in their mid-30s.
Yeah, but that right there is a little bit different though, because you're talking about a person who a superstar in their own right. Both of them are. See, the way he's getting scrutinized is because she's being deemed as a gold digger, man, and she's jumping on the billionaire. And let me tell you why. And she just added some extra scrutiny against her during, you know, for a game with some other women.
I was just getting ready to bring that up.
Yeah. Girlfriend at the time went ballistic about him just speaking to other women, and you, of course, you an athlete, you don't have fans, even if they didn't want anything to do with him, but to say hello to him, and she went nuts. And after that, that's when people just start ranting about her, because they felt like she's controlling and he's vulnerable, and he's letting her go to the club while he sit out in the car until she can't come.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with him baddie. Do you know how many people approach her? So you mean to tell me she got approached by a dozen people and he in the car?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Nah.
I'm glad you brought that incident up, Isaiah, because it looks as though now allegedly they were playing Oklahoma State University at Folsom Field in Colorado. They were blowing out Oklahoma State. I believe he caught a ball and he went out of bounds on Oklahoma State sideline, which their cheerleaders were in that area. And I guess there was some speculation that he stared at one of the cheerleaders or they stared at him and they made eye contact and she saw that from the stands. Now it says here, basically, he went up to her after the game because that was Colorado's last regular season game. He was a senior. Him and Shador and all them guys was playing their last game for the Buffs. That was supposed to have been his happiest moment after that game when he approached her, and it seems as though here it looks that there was some tension there, according to what the TV showed, that she wasn't so happy with him approaching her after the game. Now, according to her, she didn't explain it like that. She said it was something that her frustration of the security people not allowing her to, access the field thereafter to go onto the field. Yeah. Whatever the case may have been, do you look at that as an ominous sign, Isaiah, as to something that could be a possible potential problem in the future for them? Their relationship?
Because you gotta understand, when you're a professional athlete, you gotta remain calm and as a professional yourself, because what looks like it's something is nothing. And that's common for, one thing people gotta do, women, I'm saying, and men. When you have a woman that's the celebrity and gonna have fans and stuff like that, you gotta really channel that down and try to keep it out of your mind that they may be jumping on to some other person or something like that. You will lose your hair if you continue to have that form of attitude toward your spouse or your mate interacting with other people. So it's just not a good look for her, because a lot of folks don't even think, look at him, look at her, look at her, and look at him, like as if he's not good enough for her. She's this bright girl with long hair, and he got this wide smile, and they think that he ain't supposed to have a woman like that.
Well, that might be a very valid question, and whether the question is, would she would have given him an opportunity if he weren't a professional athlete now, or before he became a professional athlete? While
he said that he wasn't her type. She been saying already at one point.
There you go.
That was it too.
There
She
you go.
said that he wasn't type, and that right there drove people to feel that way.
Well, when a person tell you you're not their type, I have a personal experience with that. You better turn and run. You better turn and get up out of there, because it's not going to turn out.
Until he's saying both.
It is not going to be positive at the very end. Now, I can't predict Travis Hunter's situation because I think he knows better than we do about what his situation is. But if a person tell you you're not their type, especially the opposite sex, and they tell you that, you better turn and you better run. You better go on the other way. Now, if you want to stay friends with that person, that's one thing. But if you're talking about getting into a long-term relationship with them, you can forget it. You can forget it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work, because they are telling you you are not their type. So if that don't resonate in your brain, something's wrong. You're just never going to get it, right?
How you go from I can't see myself with you to I want you for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
With due respect for her saying that, did he have any money at that time when she said that? She might not say it on the physical in the legal. And she said, yeah, he ain't my type because he ain't had a bag yet. When she's saying that, or the look over him.
Somebody must have told her, girl, he's the best fan in the school. He is.
Hey, if he worked for UPS and he dropping off packages, or Amazon or one of them places, would she give him some time? And I already told him he's not her type. If he was a post office delivery mailman, would he be her type? Come on.
That was probably at that moment. At that moment, he wasn't her type.
Exactly.
If he got that bag, then now he is my type.
I think he understands it too as well, that, coming from his background, and he came from a good family and everything, but at the end of the day, if those two people were to have met at some point in time before he became a football player or whatever the case may be, who's to know or who's to say whether they would be together now. But let's wrap this show up, man. I had a really good conversation, man. I am so encouraged. I'm so enlightened. You guys touch my heart, man, because, man, we got it going on, because this is where the party at, and we ain't going nowhere. At here. We right here. We're here to stay. Right. We're going to be doing, by the way, we're going to be doing one stream a week for now. And we're going to do a weekend stream moving forward. And we're going to have some in the middle of the week streams. So we'll be, going back and forth. And we will put the message out there. We'll let everybody know at least 3 to 4 days in advance when we're going to stream live. We're going to start doing some own location streaming as well. Once we go to these football camps and start to go to some of these places where we could stream live high school football games, we'll stream from those games where we'll cover the game for you as a viewer. If you have any suggestions for us of things that we might can do, that you might want to see, let us know. We're always here for you. We're always going to try to answer as many comments as we can get to. You can visit our website, once again, www.dcstewartpodcast.com. www.dcstewartpodcast.com. Hit those like buttons, because the algorithm is very friendly, and make sure you continue to subscribe, because you will get the notifications when we upload new videos. The one most important thing about subscribing is you will be the first to get the notification. That's a big benefit for you, as opposed to having to wait and think, well, when are they going to put out the next video? Once you subscribe, you would get that alert. So once the video is uploaded, you'll be able to download it and be able to watch it wherever on your mobile phone, cell phone, or on a computer, a desktop computer. We appreciate you as a viewer. We've gotten to this point, and we definitely want more of you to come aboard and hit that like button and that subscribe button. So, Isaiah, would you like to close it out?
Of course. Yeah. Beautiful. Happy Memorial Day to us as U.S. citizens. And I want you guys to tell your friends, your colleagues, your co-workers, everybody that we're on. We're here for you. We're happy. We're doing what we love to do. I've been knowing DC since we was like 3 or 4 years old, and now we got Nadia aboard with us. It's a beautiful, beautiful situation for all of us. So keep on watching. We got beautiful content, entertainment for you. We're going to be doing live for the NBA draft. So tell all your friends and colleagues that we on. So
we're going to have draft day for that, and we're going to be doing Jersey mics on that draft day for NBA draft day. So make sure you go get your own Jersey mic so you can eat along with us while we're watching the draft, and we'll go from there. Well said, Isaiah. How about you, Najee? Can you close it out for us?
Peace and blessings. Enjoy this holiday. Eat good, because I'm going to continue eating good. Keep love in your heart. Get rid of hate. Hate ain't it, bro. Hate is not it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Once again, happy Memorial Day. Enjoy the rest of this day with your family. Cook out, eat good, just like Najee said, and we will be doing this thing again very soon. Thank you for joining the DC Stewart Show. Peace, love, and prosperity. Take it easy.
You've reached the end of another episode of the DC Stewart Sports Talk podcast. Be sure to connect with us at Facebook and Twitter.com. Your voice is important, so head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. Catch our next episode.